Okay, so the NCAA basketball tournament, inevitable, it's going to expand. That according to reports now. And it's expected to expand this year. Talking to the basketball guys out here, it looks like we'll go to 76 teams this year. And here's how it's going to work. It's going to be 6 games. And we've discussed this once before, but now the details are leaking out that sometime over the next few weeks, this will be done and done. And by the time we play basketball again next year, by the time we get to next March Madness, this will be our tournament. It'll be 76 teams, 52 of which will be in the main field already. And then the other 24 will play 12 games in the opening round on Tuesday and Wednesday to get to the main field on Thursday and Friday into the main part of the bracket. And those extra games will be all the 16 seeds.
Right.
All the 16 seeds will have to play. Half of the 15s will have to play. And then some of the big conference at-large bids who are 11, 12, and 13 seeds, they'll have to play. 6 of the games will be in Dayton. 6 will be at a different location, yet to be determined on that other location.
So more on that. I saw yesterday our buddy Brett McMurphy send out that Derek Stevens, which is a name you probably don't know, he's the owner of Circa Sports. Now, if you've ever been to Vegas, which my wife and I just got back from there, you just got back from there, what a lot of people don't know about Vegas, and I had never been to this part of it until this trip, there's a Fremont Street area, which was the original Vegas.
That's right, Old Vegas.
Old Vegas. That's where the Golden Nugget is, the Golden Gate, which was the very first casino. And Circa Sports, Derek Stevens is the guy that owns it. He's trying to build it back up, and he's built a really nice hotel and casino there. It's where VSiN is, the Sirius XM station is based. It's where you find the Stadium Swim, where people swim and they watch the big screen. So he's really trying to do it nice there. And he says that they are actively working to host at least those 6, if not all of them, in Vegas.
Yeah.
That they want to be the site where maybe you go half to Dayton, half to Vegas, or maybe one day you just go all to Vegas instead of Dayton.
Maybe one day. I would imagine they have some kind of contract and or
in Dayton,
something that will help. By the way, Nate Oates has made a wardrobe change. He was not in shorts earlier.
No way. So he's going to shorts?
I think he was in pants. Maybe he was in shorts. I can't remember now. Dayton's got some of them for a time being. I don't know if it's working out to the end of a contract.
Yeah.
Because of these first 4 games, or if they're just rewarding them for having these first 4 games for so many years of sort of helping them out and attending it very well. They've been so well attended there in Dayton.
But Vegas would be interesting.
It would be.
If I've never thought of those as tournament games. I guess it feels a little better if you're going to Vegas, maybe. I don't know.
That was my question was going to be, these games will be 6 on Tuesday, 6 on Wednesday. Will they be a push now to do, like, I almost feel like at this point now, that should be part of our bracket challenge, those Tuesday, Wednesday games. There will have to be some online folks that do it that way, I believe. Some that will traditionally go with the 64-team bracket starting on Thursday. And that's probably the easiest to do in the office setting.
Yeah.
Gives time to sort of build up to it. But online, I bet there's a 76.
Well, the problem with including it in like your bracket contest is, like you said, it takes people so long to get their brackets in. Like, anybody that's run a bracket contest knows they're on people until late Wednesday. Like, you got to get the bracket in, you got to get the bracket in, you got to get the bracket in. If you're having to do that on Tuesday, it's just going to shrink your bracket pools. I mean, people are basically going to have Monday and half a day Tuesday to get their bracket ready.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it is complicated. Like, I know people like to sound smart when they say this, but this is true. Like, sometimes people think, if so-and-so wins that 11 seed game, I could see them making a run in this tournament. But if they lose to Texas or if they lose to Miami, Ohio, there's no chance. So,
Texas made it to the second weekend this year, right?
Yeah.
And they won in Dayton.
Coming out of Dayton. So, I mean, teams have done it. And if you add more teams, like Auburn would have been in this group this year. Auburn would have been going to Las Vegas to play their way into the bigger tournament. And who knows, based on the way Auburn played in the NIT. Here's what I would say. If Auburn could get that motivated to play in the NIT, I would think they get that motivated to play in an NCAA play-in game, right? I mean, now look, the NIT was far, 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 far lesser competition than what they would have found in Dayton or in Las Vegas. But still, I mean, they didn't pack it in. They played some of their best basketball of the year.
Who do you think pushed for this?
The power conferences, I think.
It was the power.
Yeah, I think it was Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti, because who's going to fill these spots?
Yeah,
it's going to be your power conference teams, and it's primarily going to be SEC and Big Ten.
Mostly. And and it's because those conferences have grown so big. It's the same reason you want more spots in the college football playoffs, is because your conference has grown so big to 18 and 16 teams. If we were still doing 4, like in the old days before we went to 12, why have a 16-team conference or an 18-team conference where you're beating yourself up?
Right.
To maybe not even get into the 4.
Yeah.
And now with the 12, you just sort of feel like you need 16, which I think is the perfect number. 24 is a number that's being discussed in football. I'm okay with 64, but you have all these other auto bids that are eating that up. It's not the best 64 team. So
right. I think
I will be okay with this eventually. I didn't think I would be, but I'll be more okay with this than I was these first 4 games.
I don't think twice about the 68 now. Like, it used to be 64, like those Dayton games. Sometimes I watch them, sometimes I don't. Yeah. It's the same thing I say about bowl games, is if you don't like bowl games, don't watch them. I don't think the solution to I don't like bowl games, they shouldn't exist, is valid. If you don't like them, don't watch them. Nobody is forcing you to watch the Las Vegas Bowl or the New Mexico Bowl or whatever bowl it is. If you only like the big ones, only watch the big ones.
See,
I understand people saying now we're rewarding mediocrity, but you also don't have to watch those games. If you don't like them, don't watch them.
Here's what I would love for them to do. And all due respect to the 16s, the Maryland, Eastern Shores, and everyone else who's tried to pull an upset or has Maryland, Baltimore County, whatever, UMBC,
right.
whoever's been the 116 to beat Virginia, all that. I don't like those games. And I would be okay if we took 11s and played 16s and 12s and played 15s, and eliminate them on Tuesday, Wednesday.
I could
have a better games on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, but I would also say, like, I would imagine if you went back to our version, or whatever the 1983 version of our show was back in 1983 when they were expanded to 64, you had people like us sitting there saying, I mean, I don't know why we're letting these other teams in.
Yeah. If you don't win your conference, you shouldn't be in this.
That's thing. Right. I mean, we've got enough teams right now to settle a national championship, but we're greedy and we're going to let these other conferences in. And 64 for us is what we grew up on. And we're like, well, that's perfect. I mean, 64 is the perfect number. It's a nice, clean bracket. Everything fits in. I can get all the good teams in 64. There was a little debate on Selection Sunday. Like, now, the Selection Sunday show, it's not even going to be a debate. I mean, the bottom teams that don't get in, it's the Selection Sunday show on CBS is now all about just seeing where everybody gets sent. Like, I think you're going to remove a lot of the drama from that, because you're pretty much going to know the teams that are in. I mean, I know now 76 and 77 are going to get debated. Those are going to be such bad teams. I don't think anybody's really going to care.
And with football, this discussion, and the basketball is going to happen. This football discussion, I don't think, is close to being resolved yet. 16
the expanded playoff,
the expanded playoff, and those meetings are going to continue throughout the month of May, and maybe we'll get some resolution before we kick things off again on what the future playoffs are going to look like. But apparently, right now, to go to the 24 model, which would eliminate conference championships, the broadcast partners, I don't think, have come forward and offered up any extensive amount more money for those extra games.
Right.
And I was told, now, this is not coming from Greg Sankey, because he's out here today, and I did speak to him, but I was told the SEC makes somewhere around $50 million just on the SEC championship game.
That's revenue?
Yeah.
No, that's not profit. That's revenue.
But it's a $50 million.
There's a lot of profit in there.
It's a $50 million event for the SEC, the championship game, with the broadcast rights and everything. So if we're going to eliminate that, and there's nobody stepping forward and paying more money for these extra games, why expand it until we get more money?
And that's the whole thing. That's
the Big Ten's rushing to do this.
That's the way you're always going to sell it to the Big Ten and the SEC was, okay, these extra games are going to give you $60 million in revenue, and you don't have to do anything for it except play the games.
Yeah.
You don't have to go put on your own event. You can just show up and play the games that we're going to put on.
And it's 100% the Big Ten's pushing that 24.
Yeah.
Because that gets Fox into the playoff game.
Absolutely. And maybe even CBS.
And maybe in some other folks.
Yeah.
It
No,
takes
you're
it
right.
away from ABC, ESPN.
Yeah.
That's why they're pushing 24. So
I would agree completely.